disgustingly pathetic and incompetent. How can they write this and tell us this and be like, here you go?
Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and as you can tell today, I kind of want to elaborate on the situation that's going on in Fortnite and just kind of like what's been going on. Really like this, I guess last week, I really don't even know what the time frame is. It's all just a blur to me at this point, but I'm sure by now you guys have seen some of the videos. You've been paying attention on social media, but this whole season 10 thing is really just getting out of hand, and I kind of just want to share my thoughts on it and kind of present some examples and pop some things up on the screen. Every now and then you'll probably see a relevant screenshot, or I'm going to cut away to a video so you can take a look at what I'm talking about. But there's just so much just blatant disdain for the state of season 10, and that's why I've just decided to title the video, season 10 is a failure. And I think it's absolutely true, and we're so early into it. But it's not just because the season as a whole is bad. It's going to be because of the inability for Epic to be responsive and react in a good way, that even if the season gets much better from here, it's gonna go down as like a really bad season, I think. And there's just nothing they can do to get that back. Like, we've had ups and downs with Epic in the past, where we basically go in and out of these periods of time where we have really good and really, really bad communication with them. And we're obviously in another one of those ruts where the communication is just at an all-time low. I think it's really obvious what everybody's asking for, and yet we just get the same results of being ignored. And basically, in my opinion, I think it's disrespectful for them to leave the mechs in and to do nothing. But if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna go ahead and post it here. They did their kind of like competitive blog update, and essentially they just told us like, hey, we're monitoring the brutes, and they're gonna leave them in. They're gonna leave the brutes in, and they're gonna add a laser. Now, if you haven't seen this image here, it basically looks like this has all been a ploy. I mean, this might be too conspiracy theory of me, or of anybody that believes this, but I mean, look at this image. It looks like the brute already has a laser on it. So was this their plan all along, was to release the brutes, and then whenever they knew people would hate it, they would just put a laser on it? I don't really understand. I don't really get it, because there's so much outcry, and there's so many people that just don't even want to play the game in the current state. I think the really bad one is when Ninja, Tim, and Lupo are talking about playing different games. Let's go ahead and roll it.
I just can't believe they put him into the game, into arena, I guess is the.
In the game. Why are they here? I don't have PUBG installed. It'd take like a couple hours, like an hour, 45 minutes.
It's probably like an Overwatch update I have to do too.
So are you saying you want to run duos in pub?
I'm totally down to play PUBG.
Smile.
I'd go play Overwatch if you guys did that.
Everyone's literally gonna return. We're going back, dude. Destiny 1 stream inbound, chat. Prepare your bodies.
Nice.
Destiny 1, wow.
Yo, let's jump on Warlocks and throw infinite fusion nades, chat. It's gonna be great.
This is officially, now that mechs are in this game, this is officially a classic WoW waiting room. 100%. We're just waiting until mechs are gone.
So that clip is hard to watch. I mean, you have, especially like specifically Tim, who I find to be, one of the, the more casual, like fun players. He plays a little bit of arena here and there, but it's just like, he plays the game for fun. He enjoys the game. He plays it in squads and stuff all the time, and they just start enjoying the game. And I think it's a pretty consistent trend. And I mean, speaking of trends, we have, Remove the Mech trending on Twitter, #1 on Twitter worldwide at one point, I believe, in the day. And it's just pretty crazy to see how such a game that keeps people in the game, and I want to talk about that a little bit, can just go so wrong. And it all comes down to decisions. This is not unfixable. This is a decision that someone or some groups of people, higher ups, whoever it is at Epic, is making. I'm going to go ahead and throw up Rojo's tweet, because I completely agree, and I've said this and kind of echoed this sentiment in the past, that unfortunately, even though things are the way that they are, there's definitely a competitive team within Epic that is actually powerless. And it's hard to imagine that these people, and not just the competitive team, but these people, they are people, go into work and are most likely disappointed with the state of their game and the state of their competitive scene and things of that nature, but they don't really have the power. They don't really have the authority to make these big decisions. And so it sucks to think what some of these employees inside Epic Games are being subject to in terms of their mental state and in terms of how they feel about their own product, because this is their child. A lot of these people feel very connected to this game, and rightfully so. It's something that they spend it's a huge portion of their life right now to develop and to work on these game systems, and it just isn't working properly. And I think that's really obvious whenever you have remove the mech and all this outcry on Twitter, and it's just a huge issue. Now, we've got big content creators, professional players, everybody's super frustrated, and we're all waiting around for the fix, waiting around for the nerf that we all know is inevitable, because at this point I think everybody just is very on board with the idea that this is a toxic marketing tactic. They put something really stupid in the game, they force us to play with it, and then they'll nerf it down, fix it, vault it later. It's something we've seen from them in the past. But this clip coming out from Cypher, it's a pretty good representation of how I feel about the situation. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
We're gonna hit it from like at least 3 or 4 different areas. Like they were gonna make the brute slower, maybe like take off some of the health, maybe reduce the damage of the rockets from like 50, like 30 or 40 or something. Like I honestly thought that was what they were gonna do, and I was so mad that we had to wait until the next patch for that to happen. But we're not even getting that. The brute's still gonna have the same health, same rocket, same everything. He's just gonna have a laser indicating where he's shooting. But that's like putting me in the ring against Mike Tyson in his prime and then telling me, listen, before he punches you in the face, he's gonna tell you, hey, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
So yeah, guys, we're not even getting the fixes or the nerfs that we kind of expected. I mean, and like Cypher said, there's so many different ways that you could go about it, and it's just really unfortunate to see that Epic has such an amazing game, and they are just choosing to do whatever this is. I can't even confidently speak to what I think these decisions are meant for, because at this point, you can only push the toxic kind of marketing so far. You can only push you can only push it so far to where people are willing to accept it. But the question is always raised, if you hate it so much, why do you keep playing it? And I think that this is where a lot of like the sad part comes in with the situation. And I say sad because I know I personally feel sad and frustrated by this situation, but it's sad because like the game that I love is like deeply rooted underneath this version of itself. And what I want to play, this building BR, this amazingly high skill mechanical game, it's in there, but I'm just dancing around the issues, and I'm trying to hold on to the hope that maybe one day they'll just make some positive changes or change their philosophy on how they want to balance the game, or whatever they have to do to make it better. And if you guys watch my last video, or if you've just kind of followed some of the sentiments that are out in the scene in the past, you'll know one of the biggest things that I think they could easily do to kind of make this situation better is to balance the game for casuals and competitive. And in this particular situation, I don't even think that's enough, because personally I think that there are a lot of casual players that don't want the mechs in the game either. And so even balancing the game for casual and competitive, even taking the mechs out of the arena and competitive mode, would still be a disservice to some of the players that are out there that don't want to play arena, that don't want to have to be a comp player just to play a mode that doesn't have these giant robots in this building battle royale. So even that's like not enough, but I definitely think it's something that should be considered at this point in the game. And it's just like the inability for Epic to evolve and to make strong decisions that's really frustrating and really disappointing. And I don't know where we go from here. So I just wanted to hop on today, and I wanted to share some of the things that are going on but not because it's news and not because I'm breaking the news or anything, but because I wanted to share my thoughts on it. I think it's really disheartening, not only from a player's perspective, or a competitive player's perspective, a content creator's perspective, or even an Epic employee's perspective. It's really disheartening for all of these different people, casual, competitive, employees, to see this game that has captivated the world and has become one of the largest esports and is, you know, the most streamed and most watched video game, you know, on Twitch, and it's just not where anyone wants it to be. Is anyone truly happy with the state of the game? You know, it takes me back to the Thoughts of the Sword and how it could have easily have been an LTM, and they do all this work to create these really cool LTMs, and they have this infrastructure where they can put it in a game, and I just don't understand why there wasn't just a mech LTM. Like, would that be so bad? Can you not promote your season with mechs in it and not just have like a season-long LTM that runs with mechs? Hell, if there was an LTM, you could put mechs everywhere and it could literally be like a mech battle. And honestly, if I'm being honest, that actually sounds kind of fun. Make a duo LTM where mechs spawn everywhere, and you still have the core gameplay mechanics, the core building, the core looting, but you also have mechs everywhere, so everybody can have these mech battles. That would be cool. Like, honestly, like, it's fun to take a break from regular BR, but the problem is they are eliminating the regular BR. They're not even keeping it around for us to play as an option. So mechs are here to stay, I guess. And you know, the news of the FCS and me kind of breaking like my speculation on it and covering what it is going to be, and honestly, now that more news has come out about it, I gotta be honest with you guys, I feel a little bad that I haven't, you know, updated my thoughts on the channel about the announcement from the actual FCS, you know, talking about the $10 million they're going to give away. But I kind of just don't care. Like, I still want to make videos, I still want to play this game, and I still definitely want to you know, to always bring my opinion and my perspective to the channel. But at the same time, if I don't care about a topic, I'm not going to talk about it. And I don't even know what trio I'm playing with. I'm probably going to compete in the FCS, you know, at least to go for it and see, you know, if I can qualify for it or however it works. But I'm not even really paying attention to it that much. So I don't know, guys. It's definitely disheartening. I would love to actually open up some dialogue in the comment section, or if you want to tweet at me and we can have a discussion about it. So let me know. I mean, what do you think about the mechs? What do you think about Epic Games and their decisions? And you know, who do we blame? Like, you know, in my opinion, it's just so hard to pinpoint like who we should be putting the blame on. You know, you have to expect that it's someone that has a lot of authority in the company that wants to just change things up. Maybe they don't even know what they're doing, you know? And I mean, because I feel like the developers, the people that truly play the game and develop the things and have a grasp of the community, and the ones that are very involved on social media and pay attention to things, I feel like those are the people internally at Epic Games that have to know what's going on. And then I feel like there's someone else at Epic Games that really doesn't pay attention to anything. They see the numbers, they walk in, they talk to the team leads, they, you know, this, that, the other, they're just kind of in and out, kind of a presence real quick, a lot of like really high up authority. And more or less they're the ones calling the shots, while everybody else is kind of shaking their heads, knowing that this is not going to go well, and knowing that they're going to have to deal with the stress day in and day out of, you know, do people even like what we make anymore? Is there even a feeling of like human fulfillment within, you know, employees at Epic Games who are forced to make these games and these modes and these things that don't even enjoy it themselves, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of issues that I've had in my life with work and things, and I'm trying to think of how some of these thoughts and these feelings could translate to other people that are working at Epic Games right now. You know, do they feel fulfilled? Are they proud of their work? Is this, you know, are these emotions and feelings that they're taking home with them, or are they just going with the flow? I don't know. I can't imagine. But you know, remove the mech trending on Twitter. Streamers going to other games. It's just a tough time to be a Fortnite fan for sure, and I definitely hope we see some changes in the coming weeks, because I do think regardless of what happens for the duration of the season, this season 10 is going to go down as a failure, and that's just kind of where I'm at. So thanks for checking out this video. Please do not leave without leaving a like. Let me know, like I said, in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? What's going on? What's going to happen? And thanks for checking it out again. I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel fire inside of me. Do you see the sparks that I'm setting free? Does the beat take you over? You just